Welcome to Womenomics. I am Linda Pringle Evans, and I am so excited to be here with you today. I'm always excited to do the show because I appreciate everyone who take the time to view these episodes and then make comments, because those comments, they really are special to us. It gives us information to let us know what we are doing is needed and wanted. And I want you to know, I humbly say this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all of your support, all of your love that you send. And just know it's back at you, okay? Love you. But today's episode, we did a switch last week, and we're going to do another one this week. Instead of me interviewing, I'm going to have a co-host today who will be interviewing me. And I think you're going to find this woman to be very, very talented and gifted. And she's not only the co-host for today, but she's a dear friend, someone I have learned to respect her expertise, love her, and just know that today you are in for a treat to see this woman, this magnificent woman at work. And that is the one, the only Ms. Jackie Jimenez. And let me just share a couple of notes about Jackie. Jackie is the CEO of Newsworthy Stories. Hey, let me tell you something. If you want to get yourself into the media and really bring that excitement about who you are, what you do to gain that visibility and exposure that you deserve, this is the lady. Let me tell you, she has the experience, over 25 years of experience in media production and several others. But let me just say this, she's a news producer, a media strategist, and I know that for a fact, a speaker and an author. So help me to welcome my friend and expert, Ms. Jackie Jimenez. Welcome, Jackie.
Well, Linda, thank you so much for that very humbling introduction. You stole the words right out of my mouth when you said the one and only, because I was waiting to say that about you. I was going to say the one and only Linda Pringle Evans, because that's how I view you. I know no one who is like you, no one at all. No one even comes close. And Linda, you are a brand of your own, your expertise, and then how you pour into others. It just expounds beyond words, and you never stop, no matter what's going on in your world. And to me, if people understood not just the fact of your expertise and what you've done, professionally, but how you do it in spite of. And we're going to get into that in a minute. But first, let's talk to people who don't know you, who this may be their first introduction. So yes. What is the Womenomics movement?
Oh, Jackie, I'm so happy that you asked me, what is the Womenomics movement? It's let me say this. This is the time for women. And the Womenomics movement is about bringing economic empowerment to women. We don't talk about it enough, about women living in poverty. We don't talk about women after they retire, they find themselves in a position where they need to go back and get a job because they have not positioned themselves for financial freedom to retire. And what you don't know it. And that is why the Womenomics movement is important, because we are impacting the lives of women entrepreneurs. That's who we are serving, women entrepreneurs. WeBank, which is the Women Business Enterprise National Council, and American Express shared that 88% of women entrepreneurs do not generate six figures. Okay. Now, if you're in business for yourself and that's an entrepreneur, how are you going to be positioned to have the funds to save for retirement? How are you going to be able to have a savings period if you're making less than six figures in business? It's very difficult to do that. So, and pay yourself a salary.
Exactly.
So the Womenomics movement is about economic empowerment, growth, and sustainability for women entrepreneurs. And our intention, our mission, is to help more women entrepreneurs to generate $250,000 annually, because that is the benchmark that American Express stated. If you can get more women to generate $250,000 annually in their businesses, we will see more women entrepreneurs generating $1 million, because then they can see it.
Linda, so tell me, how important is knowing your value?
Oh my God, that is one of the problems with us as women. You know, these two go together. Confidence in who you are and what you bring to the table, and having and knowing that you have the power to go after what you want, to ask for it. If there is nothing wrong with that. And sometimes we settle for things that we don't even feel good about saying yes to. You know, Jackie, and let me just say this. I am a more seasoned woman, and it does take time sometimes for one to gain that level of confidence so that they feel comfortable and know that they do have worth. We don't own our own worth as women. You know, we will go in, and as I stated, we will accept. We see this opportunity and we accept it, or we don't because we don't feel we are qualified. That's another part of us as women.
And also, Linda, one of the things that came to my mind as I was talking about, what am I going to talk to Linda about? And Linda, talk about the fact that we're talking about business owners and entrepreneurs, but when we're talking about this worth, a lot of us don't see ourselves as business owners. But if you just say, what do you say to women, or how can you describe to women the fact that if you run a household, you run a business?
Yes. Absolutely. You're budgeting, you're raising a family, you're maintaining everything, even if you're a single head of household, or if you're married, most situations, it falls on us as women. And Jackie, and let me also say this. This is why we as women, we're seeing more who are burned out, who are stressed out, who feel so overwhelmed about what they have to face on a daily basis. We don't want this for women in Womenomics. We want to help her to alleviate all of that overwhelm, that just being burned out, showing her how through the movement, because we're bringing experts to help her. We want women to see who they really are. I want you to own your identity, because when you can own who you are, not somebody else, and to live out in your life what you have imagined that you can do. And I always say this now, live the life you can imagine. So think about that. What are you imagining that you can accomplish? And I guarantee you, if you can imagine it and you do the work, you will get it done no matter what. And think about situations you've already experienced. You have won. You are victorious. So, Jackie, I just want women to love themselves. And there is no shame in loving yourself. Sometimes people say, well, that's just being like a narcissist, or you're just so conceited, loving yourself. No, if you can't love yourself, how in the world can you love anybody else? How can you respect yourself if you don't love yourself? So there's nothing wrong with you loving who you are and accepting. That's the other, because we live in a society now, in a world where people are always comparing themselves to someone else. And with social media, I see more and more of that. And then people try to become someone they admire. So I just feel if you stay true to who you are, and I'm a woman of faith, and I think we all have been given a purpose in life. And if we stay true to that, we will see the change that we want to see in this world.
Linda, tell me, what do you want people to understand most, about Womenomics? When they see this show, what do you want them to make sure that they understand about Womenomics and why it stands out? Because Womenomics, I know, is all about setting yourself apart in one way or another.
That's
So
right.
how does Womenomics do that compared to everything else you hear of people, promising, six-figure salaries?
Absolutely. The way we're doing it, Jackie, is providing what's needed, what the women need, not what Linda want, okay? My want is not the same want for the women. And I've taken time over years I've spent with women entrepreneurs and have gotten to understand them and been a part of other organizations and worked within that organization to help other women. And in doing that and surveying women, women want support, they want accountability, they want mentorship, they don't want fluff, they don't want to waste their time, they want you to bring information that is going to help her. Now, how are we going to do that in Womenomics? Well, as I stated, we have experts. Every Monday at noon Eastern time, we have an expert who is providing information that is going to help our members to move to the next level in her business. We're holding these women accountable. We are there to support her. Now, granted, we're not miracle workers, okay? And what we do, we want to help you, but you have to do the work, all right? We're there to support you to get it done. And not only are we providing the trainings, live trainings every Monday, but within the Womenomics movement, we have the School of Womenomics, and that is where our faculty is. We have our coaches, our mentors, our leaders who will be pouring into these women. And we also have courses and programs within the School of Womenomics. Some of the courses and programs will be free, some aren't, but our members get some very nice discounts for those paid members, paid programs. But we want to make sure that for our members, we're giving you more than just information, tools, resources. We want to help our members to get more exposure as well. So within the different membership levels of the Womenomic movement, we're going, like yourself, we're going to be able to have our members to spend time one-on-one with someone like you, Jackie. How important is that?
It is extremely important. I won't even get in on that because I always tell people what I'm doing is simply working. I have something out there right now is, I have evidence. I say, consider the evidence.
Yes.
Because what you need to be able to do is show your work.
Absolutely.
And this is what, I help people do and help women do. But Linda, what you're doing and what is important also, particularly with women, right?
Right.
Coming alongside one another. It's so much better.
Yes. Yes.
To do it with someone, even as a solopreneur.
Yes.
You want to do it with someone. And when you have a group of professionals who've already been there, you don't have to make the same mistakes. Can you talk about that importance of what Womenomics will do for someone who especially operating on their own?
For those who are operating on their own, within the Womenomics community, we have a community manager as well. And that community manager is, her sole purpose is keeping our members engaged with more information, more tools, and it's important to me that our members get to know each other, because we want women to support one another, Jackie. And
Collaboration.
collaboration. And that's what we are pushing in the Womenomics movement, is for women to stop having this concept of doing it myself and start seeing that collaboration, the partnerships, joint venture partnerships, coming to, you can do more together than you can do alone. And that's part of the Womenomics movement, is that we are joining forces, ladies, joining each other and helping one another to accomplish and achieve what it is she desired. So that's what we're doing. And listening, this is the other thing which is so important. We are listening to our members. We can't do this without them giving us the feedback as to, are we being graded? That's what I want. I want an evaluation from our members, how well we are performing for you. And if we aren't, then I want you to tell us what is missing so we can correct it. And that's what really helps separate us from a lot of different organizations. We aren't an organization. We are a movement with a cause. And that cause is helping women to generate wealth for intergenerational wealth. That's what we want to see. And to have women to be in position to retire when she desired to retire with financial freedom. That's us. Simple as that.
Why is that so important to you?
You know, Jackie, it is so important to me and many other women my age, is because nobody really prepared us for living that, I call it the fourth chapter or fourth inning, fourth quarter. That's the word I used to use, fourth quarter of our lives. Nobody really sat down and talked to us as women. This is what you experience once you're over 50 years old. These are some of the things that you're going to be facing. And let me tell you, and this is what I say to the young women, the Gen Zs and the millennials. Listen, babies, I know how you're thinking right now about certain things, but let me tell you something. If you keep on living, you are going to be there. And when you get there, I want you to think about, how do you want to live? Where's the money going to come from to provide for you? Because you want to outlive your money. You don't want to run out of money when you're 65 and 70 years old, or even 80. So the Womenomics movement is about what AARP shared in an article, which just blew me away. And it said 80% of women in the workforce will end up in poverty during retirement. So tell me, do we have a problem? I think so. Houston, we have a problem.
My goodness, that is a statistic right there. And a wake-up call, you know, and it's something you can do about, but it's always, how do you get people, Linda, to take what you're saying not as, oh, I'll deal with that when I get there. How do you change that mentality to help them understand not only not their present situation, but what it's really going to be like?
Simple. We women who I feel have been blessed, and it's our time to reach back and help those coming behind us. It's as simple as that. Share your own life experiences. Let them hear from us where we were, the plans, the planning, the changes, how we got to where we are now, okay? And being available, that's another, because I've heard so many, on so many occasions, where are the mentors for us? And these are the younger women saying this. Where are the mentors for us? What you're saying, I want somebody to help me to understand it, because I hear it, but I don't fully understand. I do know I'm going to get older, but I'm planning to save. But what a lot of people don't realize is the sooner you start saving, the better off you're going to be in the long run. You don't wait until you're 50 years old, because when you start doing certain things at a greater age, you pay more than you do when you're younger. That's real. And that's what we need to help those coming behind us to understand. You know, sometimes I had my girlfriend on the show once, and we talked about long-term disability. And, you know, that's becoming something that everybody should consider. You don't think about, oh, when I get older, I don't want to have an illness where it places me in a nursing home. I don't want to go into a nursing facility. I want to stay in my own place. Well, how do you do that? You have to prepare for it. You can do long-term disability to help subsidize for you to stay in your home if you do experience illness or some type of setback. But if you don't know this, how do you know to plan for it? So this is why we provide what we're providing. And I mean, I have thought of every topic. I'm serious, every topic to address.
One thing is going through my mind is it's one-stop shopping, people. Womenomics is one-stop shopping. You know, having that wisdom in one place, having those resources in one place, that will save you time. So what? Time saves you money. And, yes, you know, that's what I like about one, coming to you, somebody who's been there, someone who cares, number one. I know that you care so deeply beyond words and beyond reason. You care too much. You care till it hurts, you know? I mean, and even what I was saying at the beginning, and I said, we'll get to that. Can you talk a little bit about how you care, how you do in spite of what you're dealing with on a regular basis? I mean, you keep a smile on your face, you do your business, but Linda, you got the world going on behind you. You know, it's like, you know, when you see those in the movies and the people are walking, there's a big explosion behind them.
Yes. And you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Because you know what's going on right now. At this moment in my life, my husband is in the hospital, just had a stroke. But he's doing better, you know. And you know, last month I was in the hospital because I had an eye stem cell transplant, and because of one of the medications, it elevated my blood sugar level to over 1,000, was 1,015, and they had to prevent me from going into a diabetic coma, and I did not have diabetes. You see what I'm saying? So you're absolutely right, Jackie. Things are going on in my life, but
I think it's important because I think when people see you or they see other successful women, they think, oh, well, they're not going through what I'm going through. But that's not true.
That's not true.
You know, we're all going through something, a lot of us, you know, at some point, just because of life. But that doesn't stop you from going.
No, it doesn't.
And when you do it in a group, like with Womenomics, the people in that group can give you a kind word, give you some encouragement, help you even with resources to say, hey,
Absolutely.
that happened to me. I can, referrals, it's so important. You also have a directory, right?
Yes, we do. We have an online directory, and it's currently available, which is the website is www.uswomenbusinesses.com. And you can go there and register your business to be showcased from that directory, because it's all about helping women to get exposure for themselves. And that's what is holding many women entrepreneurs back, is because, let's face it, the internet is saturated now. It is, even social media. So how are you going to be able to stand out with all the noise that's out there and bring in the clients that is willing to pay you your worth, your fee? Okay, that's important. And knowing who those right clients are. We're going to be helping women with this, because if you are, and there's nothing wrong, if you want to discount, that's fine. But there's also revenue streams that I have helped women to really identify in their businesses that they weren't even aware that they could make money from it. So I always tell women, especially women entrepreneurs, your personal brand, who you are, your reputation, trust me, that is optimizing your personal brand is going to monetize your business. It will. And that's what we are doing also through Womenomics, because we want to highlight our members. We want to put members, when we launch our digital magazine, we want to highlight some of our members in there. That's important. We want to highlight members on our website next month. And we want to be able to show their worth and what they can do for you. People always sharing information about what they do, who they are, but what's in it for your client? What is going to make a difference at the end of the day for the people that you're serving, to make their lives better, to make their businesses better? So we help our members to really know their unique value proposition. And I have discovered most women don't know what their value proposition is. And we help them with that. And you're getting all of this in Womenomics. You are.
And, one other thing that I find I help with women, and I know that you must help women see themselves, is that you don't have to necessarily be a business owner to understand that if you're an executive, you can be a consultant. And a lot of times women need help identifying who they are as a consultant.
Yes.
And understanding they have a business, because most of them say, will tell me, oh, well, I don't own a business, I'm an executive. But your expertise is a business in itself. You should have a website. You should tell people what it is that you do for personal branding purposes.
Absolutely. And Jackie, there are so many women executives who don't fully utilize their brand. They don't. And that's why, for me, I always say, and I'm helping more women to become branded. And now we have a focus more on becoming branded online with an indelible presence. Because people, you want to stick in the mind of people who may need you, who may want you. And I also have been sharing being featured in magazines, in the media, on shows. You have no idea how these people have a research team to go out on the internet. They tell them what they're looking for, and they go out there and they're looking for these individuals to be highlighted. And if you're branded, I mean, really your brand presentation is representing who you are and is what they're looking for, it's going to bring you more opportunities. Am I right? Because you've been in that field.
You have no idea how much news coverage we are generating for my clients. As I always tell you, I have a client he's now 12, but I started with him at 10. In a year, he became Sports Illustrated Sports Kid of the Year. His name is Carter Bonus of Spectrum Golf. And, he became UPS spokesperson. Just that's the most recent thing. You may have probably even seen him in a commercial. They sent him to the Masters. He has his own brand of golf clothing, but it's a brand. It's a brand of clothing.
Yes.
And he created that logo. But if a 10-year-old, and he's on the autistic, the autism spectrum, learn from him.
You know what? And I always say this, people don't realize your name is your real estate. So you need to really register your name and have a personal brand website. So when people want to know, they hear your name and they go, let me Google this person. And they Google the name and they see your personal brand website and your information is there. You don't know what opportunities can arise from that. So I know we're talking about a lot here about Womenomics and about women, but just know this, Womenomics is here to support women so that they can up their deserve level, not just up that deserve level, but make it happen. See, you can sometimes say, I know I'm worth this, but if you don't put it into action, it's not going to do anything. And we want to hold women accountable because, again, we want to see more women creating wealth with intergenerational wealth. See, we as women, we can change the world if we work together. There is no question in my mind about that. And let me say this, the time is now for us. If you don't like what's going on in the world today, if you don't like what you're seeing within your own society or within your own families, you can be the change maker. You are the difference maker. So ladies, it is time for us to step up, step out of those comfort zones, and let's get it done. Join the Womenomics movement.
Thanks for allowing me to share with you.
Oh, Jackie, thank you for coming on board today and also for being a part of the Womenomics movement. And as we're about to close, I would just like to say this to the women. I believe in the power that we have been anointed with. I believe in that. We got authority. And I always say, create your power, create it because it's been given to you. And in order to make it happen, you got to create it. You got to know the steps to take to bring it into fruition. And I want each of you to live the life you imagine because it was put inside of you for a reason. So accept who you are and let's get busy. Thank you, Jackie, so much for joining me today. And it has as always, it is a pleasure. Until next time, here's to your success.